What's up, everybody? Lake-Stage Community Advocate and Educator here, back again. Just wanted to touch on some things real fast. One, this does not reflect upon any group or any organization. And if you feel offended, that's not my problem. That's yours. Fix yourself. And that's the only thing I can challenge you with, is to fix yourself. Because that's the only thing you can do. No reason to blame others. Just fix yourself. But I wanted to finish up with the cowardly trait, leadership traits, and I wanted to kind of do it like this. Within our community, now everybody knows that I put this up, and very quickly, if you want to pause this and read this, how many F's are actually in this? 3, 4, 5, 6, who knows, right? Read it quickly and tell me what you see. And if you didn't know, there's actually 6. And you didn't see it the first 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 times because your brain processed what you were seeing with what you were saying or what you were reading as completely different. And that means a lot because the way that we perceive and we observe things, especially when they're leaders and what leaders say and what we're listening to from a leader, can be very sadly skewed and very sadly protected and even encouraged. And like I said before, onlookers within the communities or within the companies start to see this and they experience the leader's successful bullying and trait. They accept it as, oh, this is a normal way here. They encourage it. They join in, and then they normalize that behavior within their community, within their company. And the reason I wanted to touch on this is because, well, within our community, it's been a very long time that this has been going on, that this type of behavior has been not just, like I said, accepted, encouraged, but they join in on it, and they also normalize this behavior, and it stems from the top leadership all the way through the ranks. And that's a problem, because when you have people who just speak up, who have a difference of opinion, or have the way that the community looks and the community conditions are basically reverting and it's looking dilapidated and neglected, you get community members who go say, well, if you don't like it, just move. Yeah, a lot of community members who accept and encourage and join in on the behavior, the bullying behavior and the behavioral traits of the leadership here, they join in telling community members who have just a simple difference of opinion to just shut up and move if you don't like it. Sounds very community-like, right? And this is what I'm talking about with perception. So when people see a leader say, and they're bullying people, right? And they say things like, oh, you're a coward, you're a clown, you don't know what you're talking about, you don't deserve this, you have no right to be doing this, and you have no right to be doing that. First off, I'd stand back if that was my leader. And I am. And the way that I'm perceiving and observing is a whole lot different than most people because I don't encourage that behavior. I don't accept that behavior from leadership, and I'm not going to join in on that behavior. And yes, it feels like, well, you're attacking him and her. Wrong. I'm attacking behavior. And if it's that person and you're my leader, yes, I'm going to hold you accountable. So if you feel guilty, you feel offended, that's your problem, not mine. But this is what I'm talking about. Within our community, people are noticing, since I've been advocating for people to observe their community much in a different light. People are starting to see, I can't believe how low this town has gotten. Now that's specifically focusing on community and town conditions and the way it looks. That's calling out specifically the community and the conditions, and it's looking bad. And they make personal opinions of they used to be hard workers and Christians, right? Now it's just a bunch of takers and lazy bums. What a shame this next generation is doomed. Now we can go on and on about hard workers, Christians, and the generation being doomed. But I'm focusing more on the conditions of the town, that people are noticing this, and these are the kind of responses that people are getting. I mean, for real, Christians are some of the fakest people on earth, which is an opinion. They'll be complete, 6 days a week, and then come Sunday singing and dancing, praising. But notice that there's nothing on there about the community conditions. So again, that's perception and the way that they're observing. They only become biased when it's something they want to accept. When it's something that they don't like, they won't even address it. And here's a perfect example of what I've said before. Because it just doesn't fit the narrative, you have to obey to tell people, and this is the exact what the person says. Why don't you just move? No, that's not the first time. But that goes back to bullying, cowardly traits of leadership here. Is, first off, it shows you're scared. It shows you're intimidated, and it shows your incompetency level. And that's not me saying it. That's psychology of some of the greatest leaders and people within the world who lead large, massive, multi-million and billion-dollar corporations and companies. But that, why don't you just move? That's not the first time I've heard that. I've probably heard that about 1,000 times. And if I've heard that 1,000 times, eventually people start to believe that crap. I don't, and I ain't going nowhere. So I just wanted to kind of touch on perceptual set again. How many F's are in this sentence? Quickly, kids. There were 6 in that sentence. But you didn't see it because the way that your brain was perceiving and what you were reading with your eyeballs was 2 different things. And be sure that when your leaders are doing this, don't let it become accepted. Don't let it become encouraged. Don't join in. And don't normalize that for your community, first and foremost. And don't normalize it for your leader because he deserves a whole lot better, even if they are incompetent or if they're insecure or whatever their issues are. Now, however, when you are blatantly doing things and for numerous years, like I've said, and things continue, it really is time to just start thinking about leadership and who they really are and what their character is and who they deep-seatedly have issues with. And don't be a hypocrite. Even if you're in a company or an organization, I'm not perfect, and I don't perceive to be perfect, but I do hold myself as a leader to be very high. And it's not that I'm arrogant. I'm very confident. There is a very large difference. If I don't know, trust me, I will say, and that's what good leaders do. They'll ask, or they'll say, hey, I don't know, can you show me? And that's one of the greatest things you could do as a leader. But to be a community member on the receiving end of, if you don't like it, just move, or on the receiving end of your leadership doing this, why would you want to show up to work? Why would you want them as a leader? And it makes no sense. I mean, it kind of actually does make sense why the community conditions fall apart from the top down. It's because the trait that has been long time accepted, it's been encouraged, it's been joined in on, and it's also been normalized. It's time to change that within our community, kids. I'm the Lake Stage community advocate and educator. I hope I've educated you. And again, there's lots of websites you go check out. Go check out ours that are on Facebook and YouTube, and obviously you're here on TikTok. But challenge your leaders to be better, because if they have an issue with it, that's their problem, not yours. And if they don't like your opinion or difference of opinion or perception, again, still their problem, not yours. And remember, cowardly leadership traits and toxicity needs to be removed. It deserves to be removed because you deserve better, and so does the rest of the community and the community conditions. Be the change you want to be the change you want to see. Be an eagle, don't be a crow. Change the status quo and challenge it, by the way. Not just change it, but challenge it. Because if you don't know what you can achieve on your own or together for the long haul, I'm the Lake Stage Community Advocate. Until next time.